All right, welcome back to another workflow, my friends. So today we have a head swap workflow in Klein. I still am not a fan of Klein entirely. It still mutates people. I've tried different techniques. It doesn't seem to go away. You can lessen the appearance of third arms and extra fingers and stuff, but Klein in general just seems to have an issue with that. But it does excel at some things, like in painting, pretty damn good, and this head swap workflow, also pretty damn good. So this one today is a little bit different. We're iterating on another existing workflow that I found from this creator, Super Comfy. So he created the workflow here and I just iterated on it. I put my own spin on it, but give him a follow, give him a like for this video because he's the one who basically came up with the concept here. So this video has chapters. You can skip ahead if you want, but I'm just going to talk about something really quick. I got a comment that I'll put on screen right now, and it's just a creator that was kind of bugging me about putting my workflows behind a paywall. So here's the thing. I do that for one main reason. This is my job. I need to make some kind of money. I'd love to just offer everything I create for free, but then I couldn't eat food, I couldn't pay my rent. All of my videos, I'm very clear about going over exactly what you need to do to build the workflow. You can follow along and build it yourself. So all the information is there. You don't have to subscribe to my Patreon. You can just build it as I'm explaining. You can follow along as I explain each workflow. Now, this creator did have a good point and said that I should offer free workflows, which I always intended on doing. I just happened to start with a few that were paid. So this one today is going to be free, especially since it's mainly Super Comfy's workflow. I just iterated on it a little bit. But yeah, you're going to be getting free workflows once in a while here, guys. I just need to be able to eat and survive. And I really thank all the Patreon members that have supported me recently. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's move on with the workflow. So this head swap works quite well. There's a couple things you can do to make sure it always turns out clean, but we're going to start one step at a time here. And we're going to say that if you load up the workflow and you don't have all the nodes you need, come here, click install missing custom nodes. They should populate here, the ones you don't have. Click here, it should select them all, then click install. Once that's done, then you click restart comfyui right here, or when you're in this window, I think it actually shows up down here too. So anyway, do that. It should be good when you restart. Next, all the models that we use are right here. I don't use the GGUF, but if you have low VRAM, you want to use the GGUF model. There's the 9B and the 4B here. You can just click the links and it brings you to the models, download them, and put them in the corresponding folders. I do have the link to Super Comfy's video on the same workflow, so go give him a follow and a like, and let's get into how this works. So you want to start, this is the face loader. This is the face that you want to replace on the body. So I'm just using two generated images because I don't want to dick around with potentially using Donald Trump's face or something like that and then getting the video taken down. So we're just going to use generated people. And this is my influencer Jade, and we're going to replace her face with this lady's face. There are some things that Super Comfy kinda didn't explain, or if he did, I didn't notice. I was maybe not paying full attention, but there are some things that I'm gonna go over that just really help you get a better head swap. You don't need to really put a mask on this one, but I will show you what that does. We'll start off by masking this. So you wanna mask out everything, but you wanna leave the neck, as much of the neck as you can, because it just helps the generation understand where the head needs to be sitting a little bit better. And it doesn't turn out great if you don't do that. So let's leave the neck, as much of it as we can, and mask that. There you go, it should be good. And for this one, you don't need to, like I said, you don't need to mask this, but it does help hone in, I guess, on exactly where it should be. So all you need to do is you can make like an X like this, and it shows where the face is, and it will basically zoom into the area you have masked. Or you can do a circle like that. Try to be somewhat accurate though. Just get like under the chin, and then you'll see when it creates the mask of this, it'll basically be a mask of that kind of shape or size. This is the upscaling that's going to happen to the face. This is actually very important because if you'll notice the head, when we generate, the head may be the wrong size. And I'm sure if you've used any head swap or like face swap workflows before, you've noticed that the head sometimes is way too small or way too big or looks cut out or looks crappy. We're going to avoid all of those things in this workflow. So we've set this, you know what? I'm going to set this to 1024 just so I can show you that the head's probably going to be the wrong size when we do this. And I'll explain why in a second. You want to keep your sigma max between 0.95 and 0.98. You go below 0.95, it breaks. You go above 0.98, it breaks. You can try if you want, but I haven't had any success in those numbers. And then I just have a RAM cleanup node here. The prompt, I would basically leave alone. Super Comfy has a note here. You can specify more changes below, but I would kind of keep this the same. If you're just using this always for head swapping, this doesn't really need to change. Okay, so we're gonna run the workflow and I'll show you here. So right away, see how we circled around this area. So basically the mask is gonna be like this, right? And if you look over at the mask, that's exactly where it goes. You don't, like I said, you don't have to use this. It just helps really bring the face in a little bit better, which probably in the end gives you better facial details. So I don't know, a simple circle or an X works over that just to show where the mask should be. Now, let's go over to how it did. And if you look, her head replaced really nice. It's just too big and it makes her look weird, right? We don't want that. We want the head to be around the same size as the body image. So how we work with that is by adjusting the resolution of the upscale. I've already found that 1920 for this specific image works pretty good. If you go lower, so let's try 512 and I'll show you what that looks like. I haven't tried this yet, so we're gonna see together. Okay. So even worse, even bigger, right? So that is how you control the size of the head. If you go lower in your upscale, the head will be bigger. If you go higher, it'll get smaller. Here, I'll generate at 1920. So now 1920, this is what we get. Much better, right? That's like perfect. That's exactly the size we want it. And it's going to be different for every image. It's not that 1920 upscale is going to be the ideal for every image, because it's not. You're going to have to see and play with it. The rule of thumb is pretty simple though. If the head is too big, increase this number. If it's too small, decrease this number. You know what? I'm even going to change this to just put head size. There we go. Head size. This is to let people know this adjusts the head size. And that's a direct correlation. Like, it works pretty much every time that I've tried anyway. One of the other things you can do if you're getting weird issues with, and you just can't get the head to look right, you can just change the noise seed and try something else. I've had success with that once in a while. Now, the Sigma Max, really between 0.95 and 0.98 is all you want to do. You can, like I said, you can try other settings, but you really probably won't have that much success. The higher you go, it seems to have more likeness to the head image. The lower you go, it has more likeness to the body image. So in this circumstance, with her, if I set this to, let's go to 0.94, which I don't really go to, but let's generate that. And I assume that this woman will probably have blue hair. It'll change the face, but she'll have blue hair. One sec, let's try this. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much what I assumed. So it tries to do more of what the body looks like, and you end up with getting, you know, some attributes like the hair color won't change completely. So a good sweet spot I found is 0.96 or 0.97. That seems to be really good. And one last thing you can adjust or change to get the likeness a little more similar is enabling this. So if you enable the set latent noise, it can get more of the likeness for the head, but I have noticed that it can make the image look a little bit more soft or blurry. So you can just enable that, disable, try both, and just see how it works. Oh, one thing I forgot to say was if you're using the GGUF model, just connect model here to here and disable this node. And that's about it, guys. I really like consistent workflows, and this seems to be one of them. As long as you know the things to adjust, it works pretty well every time. This is going to be on my Patreon for free for everybody, and I will do many more free workflows in the future. And thank you everybody for watching this far, and thank you for all the support I've had, and I'll see you guys in the next one.